Did you know that if your company is about to retrench you, that there are some telltale signs to look out for? When a company is about to conduct a round of layoffs and you're one of those about to be impacted, sometimes you can smell it coming a mile away. Obvious clues include being suddenly asked to pause work on your projects indefinitely, being suddenly reassigned to lower impact or lower visibility projects with no good reason, being suddenly excluded from meetings you normally are a part of, and the list goes on. Unless you're the human equivalent of an ostrich burying his head in the sand to avoid danger, you should be able to spot the signs. By the way, apparently it's a myth that ostriches bury their heads in the sand to avoid danger, but I just had to use that metaphor. If you know that layoffs are about to happen and you could be impacted, what should you do? In this video, I'm going to share my 3 pieces of advice on what to do and 1 piece of advice on what you should definitely not do. Number 1, start planning your next career move. Even if you're a star performer, even if you're confident that you won't be affected by the layoffs, the reality is you never know how the pendulum could swing. Unless you're the one masterminding and executing the actual retrenchments, you never know if or when the company could change their mind on whom to let go. As the company's situation continues to evolve, you could be safe one day and at risk the next. That's why it's important to safeguard your future by being proactive and exploring potential new roles in the market as soon as you catch even a whisper of the dreaded R word from the corporate grapevine. There's almost no downside here to doing this. Let's assume that eventually you're not retrenched and your current job is safe. What do you lose? After exploring new roles in the market, either you find nothing suitable and continue in your current role, or you discover a role that's a step up from your current one, and then you have an interesting decision to make. And on the flip side, if you do get retrenched, then any progress you made in your job search, even if it doesn't yield an actual job offer, is not a total waste because it does give you at least 2 things. 1, you get to practice handling an interview and hopefully get better at it, which is always going to be helpful for any future job interview. And number 2, you get a sense of what you're worth in the market and you'll find out if you're being over or underpaid. Number 2, start networking and establishing new relationships or reviving long dormant ones. Start by reaching out and reconnecting with old acquaintances, friends, ex-colleagues, and especially ex-bosses, because you're going to need them for those character references. Anyone whom you might have been close with or known in the past, even briefly, but have lost touch. For some of us, when we're in a job we really like, whether it's the work or the colleagues or the pay or all of the above, we start to settle into it and get comfortable. And then it's only natural that we make less of an effort to cultivate our network, and eventually the professional relationships and connections start to become dormant. But the reality is your talent and skills alone can only take you so far. In the corporate world, it's critical to take the initiative to develop strong, meaningful relationships with other like-minded professionals. On the one hand, we all have something to learn from one another, whether it's knowledge about the other person's job or company or industry. And on the other hand, we can always help one another, whether it's about leaving a positive referral on your LinkedIn profile or even recommending you for an available role in another company. And on that last point, it's common knowledge that it's far easier to get a job, or at the very least an interview, through a referral. Better yet, if you know someone up there in the company hierarchy who can vouch for you. Because, like it or not, successfully advancing in your career depends a lot on whom you know, and not just on what you know. And the data backs that up. Based on research by Zapier, a US-based company offering recruitment services, referrals are 4 times more likely to be offered a job. And according to Forbes, employee referrals may help your resume to stand out and secure you an interview. So start getting out there and reaching out to people. And when you've exhausted the list of people you already know, there are thousands more people out there whom you don't know for you to connect with. Get active on LinkedIn. Plenty of recruiters scout for potential new hires via LinkedIn. If you see a job that interests you, don't be shy to initiate a conversation with a recruiter for that company. Don't just send your resume and wait for them to contact you. You gotta be proactive and get on their radar. And try to attend as many seminars or talks as you can to network and get to know new people. If budgets are concerned, there are plenty of free seminars and talks out there. You just need to take action. Sign up for them and actually attend. And importantly, when you're there, don't just passively listen to the speakers, enjoy the free refreshments and then go home. Take steps to approach people at the event and get a conversation going. I mean, you never know where a conversation could lead. And even if it doesn't go anywhere, what do you really lose? And if it does go somewhere, think about how much more you have to gain. Number 3, housekeeping. And as the noose starts to tighten around your neck, it's time to get your house in order before they spring the trapdoor, because by then it'll probably be too late. I'm talking about the employee benefits that you're entitled to: dental, medical, flexible allowance, childcare leave, even parental leave, the list goes on. There's no reason to feel awkward or even shy about wanting to claim it all. Those are your benefits. They're part of the overall package that you're entitled to as an employee. It's not just your salary. As long as you don't abuse the claim process, of course. So just go ahead and schedule that health check you've been putting off for the longest time because you've been too busy burning the midnight oil for the employer who's about to shit can you. The irony of it. And that niggling condition or ailment of yours, get that referral letter for your specialist appointment and have it looked into ASAP. I mean, if not now, then when? So now that we've covered what you should do, let's talk about what you shouldn't do. If at all possible, if you know you're about to be retrenched, don't quit your job before you get the retrenchment package. It can be tempting to just throw in a towel, knowing that the axe is about to fall on your head, and yet not knowing exactly when it's gonna happen is going to be the thing that kills you. It can be mentally and emotionally exhausting, and you might feel like you just want to put out your misery. But down the road, you could regret doing that. You don't know when your next job is going to come along. So, if you're gonna be out of work for a while, then every little cent is going to matter. So, as miserable as it might be, you'll want to hang on for dear life. And in a best case scenario, you'll want to time it such that you already have your next job lined up when or soon after you get the retrenchment notice. That's where my first point about planning your next career move comes in. If you time it right, then you get the best of both worlds in a certain sense. Imagine getting a hefty retrenchment package this month and in the following month you start a new job. Having said all that, of course, if you're already at a breaking point, then you do need to prioritize your mental and emotional health and do what's best for you there and then, rather than worry about the money. Money can always be earned back, but losing your health could be much worse and could take far longer to recover from. Alright, that's it for this video. Hope you found it useful. If you have tips of your own on what to do when your gut is telling you that you're about to be retrenched, feel free to share them in the comment section below. See you in the next one.